Hi, I'm Corolla, and on Instagram I'm at From Corolla. In this video, I'm going to share what planners, journals, and main notebooks I'm using in Q3 2022 on a daily, weekly, and monthly basis. I'll also talk about what worked for me in the past couple of quarters and also what didn't work for me and why. And then I'll share what I'm currently using all my notebooks for. So I hope you enjoy it, and let's chat. First, I'll talk about the planners that I used in 2022, and if you want more details, I can link the video that discusses them. I used the Passion Planner weekly dated, as well as the Passion Planner daily undated, and the Hemlock Oak weekly dated planner. And I also used the Hobonichi Weeks, and I set up a bullet journal in the Archer and Olive Traveler's Notebook size. So Q3 was really about simplifying and leaning into what worked for me for Q1 and Q2. So what didn't work for me and is getting cut in Q3, basically the Passion Planners, and kind of surprisingly because I personally do love Passion Planner and I used it last year in 2021 to keep myself organized. And I tried to use it this year again, but I think I may have stretched myself in terms of how many planners I was trying to use. And so I started using the Passion Planner, and then my girls took over and they started stickering and coloring, and it was just so cute that I let them sort of take it over, and it's now their planner to do with as they want. And I'm okay with that. Not to say that I won't use a Passion Planner in 2023, but for Q3, I've put it away. The Passion Planner Daily I used sort of on weekends, so I used it occasionally, not every day. And because it's undated, I kind of found it convenient and easy to use on weekends when I had busy days. But I don't think I'll be using it in Q3. I may use it again at some point because there are empty pages. I only used half of the book, but not for now. And so I'm going to say bye to my Passion Planners. I'm not going to put them away forever, but they're gone for Q3. So what am I using in Q3 in terms of planners? First, I'm using the bullet journal. I love the method, and I started this year with an Archer and Olive that was actually set up in November of last year. So I kind of ran out of pages in Q1. And so I ended up setting up the bullet journal edition to collab with Leuchtturm 1917 notebook, which I think is great for using as a bullet journal. But then, as much as I liked using it, midway through, I wanted to try something new. And so I'll talk a little bit about what I'm going to use in Q3 in terms of my bullet journal. But before I jump into new notebooks, I just want to say that I'll continue using my Hemlock and Oak planner. I used it so far for social content planning, YouTube, blog stuff, and I love the layout and the fact that I can use it to brainstorm content. So I'll use that again, and I'll also use my Hobonichi Weeks because I love the cover and I love the layout of it, but I will be using it mainly for financial tracking, but also for wellness and health. It'll sort of be like my habit tracker that is personal and I don't want to share with anyone. So the new bullet journal setup that I'm using in Q3 is in my standard traveler's notebook, and I really wanted to get back into my TN, so I set it up, and I'll link the video if you're interested in a more chatty version of my flip through. And I'm really excited to get into this TN and use my fountain pens and inks and all that. So those are my planners for Q3, meaning they're my notebooks that keep me organized and on track in terms of events and tasks and things that just need to get done on a daily basis. So now I'll talk about the journals and main notebooks that I used so far this year. and the ones that will be moving into Q3 with me. And again, if you're interested in learning more, then you can take a look at my past videos as well. So I use the Hobonichi Weeks as well as the Hobonichi Day Free and the Coffee Monsters Co. My Emoji Planner and the Hobonichi 5-year techo, which started as of 2022. So this is my first year actually using a 5-year journal. And the Hobonichi Cousin Avec, as well as the Stalogy in B5. So what worked for me, this is easy. They all did, except maybe one. So I'll still be using the Stalogy as well as the Cousin Avec and the Hobonichi 5-year, but I'm not sure if I use my emoji planner. I'll still be using my Hobonichi Weeks. And so my emoji planner I used as a journal prompt and quick notes each day, but I'm not sure if I'm going to keep up with that in Q3 just because I am simplifying my routine and I have half of the notebook still left over, so I can always jump back if I want to. So in terms of new books that I set up for Q3, the Hobonichi Cousin Avec, because it comes in 2 books for the second half of the year, which I'm super excited that I finished the first half of the year. I used it for memory keeping and basically an archive of the events that happened in the first half of 2022. And then I also finished my Hobonichi Day Free, which I used for stationery notes and also for book notes, reviews. And for Q3, I set up the Archer and Olive B6 notebook for book reviews and book notes, as well as just general notes about inks that I'm using and fun stuff like that. Another new setup for Q3 is the Traveler's Notebook Passport Size, which I'm going to be using for swatches and stationery notes. So just notes about fountain pens, inks, and different stationery goodies that I've tried this year. Next up for new notebooks that I'm using in Q3 is my plotter. And I'll link above the video where I talk a little bit more about my setup and how I'm using it. But generally, I'm using my plotter for creative ideas and YouTube plans and things like that. Last but not least, for new setups is my standard traveler's notebook, limited edition Have a Nice Trip. And I'm using this cover with inserts for collaging and just kind of like art journal, scrapbook type of pages. And I also have a sticker release insert in here just for those samples and washi strips that I cut up. So that's it for my Q3 planner and journal lineup. Next, I'll just talk a little bit about my routine and how often I use each book. So the notebooks, journals, and planners that I use on a daily basis include the Hobonichi Cousin Avec for memory keeping and my archive of the year, the Hobonichi Weeks for an archive of my children's development, the Hobonichi Weeks for finance tracking and health, the Standard TN as my bullet journal, and the Hobonichi 5-year techo as my gratitude practice and watercoloring practice. These 4 books I use throughout the week, so my passport TN and my plotter, as well as my standard TN and the Hemlock Oak planner. And the last 2 books that I use throughout the month are the Stalogy and the Archer and Olive book notes. So in total, I'm using 11 books in Q3, 3 of them being planners, 8 of them being journals or notebooks, Of those, 5 of them I use on a daily basis, 4 of them throughout the week, and 2 of them throughout the month. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Corolla at From Corolla on Instagram. I'll see you soon. Bye!